An eroge, 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 or eroge, eroge, pronounced ioi, also called an H-game, is a Japanese genre of erotic video game. The term encompasses a wide variety of Japanese games containing erotic content across multiple genres. The first eroge were created in the 1980s. And many well-known companies in the Japanese gaming industry originally produced and distributed them. Some eroge are primarily focused on erotic content, while others, such as Keys Kanon, only contain occasional scenes in an otherwise non-erotic work. Games in the latter category are often re-released with sexual content removed for general audiences. Throughout its history, the genre has faced controversy for its use of explicit sexual content, and as a result has been banned from several console platforms. Video games platforms genres lists development VTE etymology eroge is a portmanteau of erotic game, erochiku geimu, erochiku gemu. Such games are also referred to as an H-game, H-geimu. 1. History eroge is a Japanese erotic video game. 2. The earliest known commercial erotic computer game is PSK's Lolita Yakuken, released in 1982. 3. That same year, Koei released the erotic title, Seduction of the Condominium Wife, Danchitsuma no Yuuwaku, Danchizuma no Yuaku, which was an early role-playing adventure game with color graphics. 4. 5. Owing to the 8-color palette of the PC-8001 computer, it became a hit, helping Koei become a major software company. 6. In another opinion, Yuji Horii recalled in 1986 that he saw a demonstration of a Yakuken-like game running on the FM8 in the end of 1981. And he considered Yakuken was the origin of adult games. 7. Some writers say that Yakuken, produced for Sharp MZ computers by Hudson Soft, is the first Japanese adult game. 8. 9. Other now famous Japanese companies such as Enix, Square and Nihon Falcom also released erotic adult games for the PC-8801 computer in the early 1980s before they became mainstream. 10. Early eroge usually had simple stories, some even involving anal sex, which often led to widespread condemnation from the Japanese media. In some of the early erotic games, the erotic content is meaningfully integrated into a thoughtful and mature storytelling, though others often used it as a flimsy excuse for pornography. 10. Erotic games made the PC-8801 popular, but customers quickly became tired of paying 8,800 yen, $85, for such simple games. Soon, new genres were invented. ASCII's Chaos Angels, a role-playing based eroge, inspired Dragon Knight by Elf and Rants by Alice Soft. Citation needed. In the early 1990s, eroge games became much more common. Most eroge games, a fairly large library, found its way on the PC 9801 platform. FM Towns also received many games, more so than the X68000 or MS-DOS. Whilst the MSX platform, which had many eroge games in the 1980s, was nearing the end of its lifetime, eroge was much less common on consoles. Only NEC's PC Engine series had officially licensed adult games, and from the mid-90s, Sega's Saturn. Both Nintendo and Sony disallowed adult video games on their consoles. Games also started to appear on Windows as it grew in popularity. There were also some titles on the arcades, such as the Gal's Panic series. In 1992, Elf released Dokusei. In it, before any eroticism, the user has to first win the affection of one of a number of female characters, making the story into an interactive romance novel. Thus, the love simulation genre was invented. Soon afterwards, the video game Otogyroso on the Super Famicom attracted the attention of many Japanese gamers. Otogyroso was a standard adventure game but had multiple endings. This concept was called a sound novel. In 1996, the new software developer and publisher Leaf expanded on this idea, calling it a visual novel and releasing their first successful game, Shizuku. A horror story starring a rapist high school student, with very highly reviewed writing and music. Their next game, Kazuato, was almost as dark. However, in 1997, they released To Heart, a sweetly sentimental story of high school love that became one of the most famous and trendsetting eroge ever. To Heart's music was so popular it was added to karaoke machines throughout Japan, a first for eroge. In response to increasing pressure from Japanese lobby groups, in mid-1996 Sega of Japan announced that they would no longer permit Sega Saturn games to include nudity. 11. After a similar game by hentaixxx, 1. Kagayaku Kisetsu became a hit in 1998. Visual Arts scouted main creative staff of 1 to form a new brand under them, which became Key. In 1999, Key released Kanon. It contains only about 7 brief erotic scenes in a sentimental story the size of a long novel. An all-ages version was also released afterward. But the enthusiasm of the response was unprecedented, and Kanon sold over 300,000 copies. In 2002, a 13-episode anime series was produced, as well as another 24-episode anime series in 2006. According to Satoshi Todome's A History of